Hey, welcome to the LLSA Formula chapter. In this chapter, I teach you the foundation that's going to allow you to start taking better photos. And this acronym, we're going to be utilizing it throughout the whole entire course to help you take better photos of portraits, landscape, travel, and also just anything that you enjoy taking photos of. Let's break down the acronym. The first L is location. Your location is your foundation of your photos. What do you like to photograph? Is it flowers? Is it people? Is it architecture? Or is it objects that you place around different places? Where do you envision yourself taking photos of these things? Based on your location, the thing that you're photographing is going to give a different feeling. People have associations with places. So it's really, really important that you think about the feeling that you are trying to convey within your images. If you're taking a photo of a person in the city, it's going to give a different feeling compared to if you're taking a photo of that individual in the forest or up in a mountain or just on in an empty alleyway. By being intentional with your location, you're already going to start seeing improvement within your photos. The next L is light. Your light is very important within your photos because without light, there's no photo. Light travels through your lens and then it captures it. And there you have an image. Our phones are so advanced right now that when you are in the dark or dim area and you start to take a photo, the machine says, hey, you need more light. Guess what happens? The flash turns on. Or when you need more light, what tends to happen also is that your night mode turns on. And so it has a longer shutter speed for you to actually take the image. The next letter is S. S stands for subject. So your subject is what you've decided to photograph. And what I'm saying that your subject could be a building, could be a person, could be a thing, could be anything. But it's essentially what you're choosing to photograph. That's your subject. This location, the twinkling lights are my subject. So I tap on the screen, I start adjusting the amount of light that's coming into the lens. I want to make sure that you can see the twinkling lights the way that I see it, and now with added brightness. This is the same location, and now I'm photographing one of my friends. I like the way the light's shining on my friend's face, so I don't have to do a lot of adjustments when it comes to brightness. In this location, I'm photographing an amusement park. I noticed that there's lots of lights coming from behind the amusement park, and I don't want those lights. So I'm going to tap on the screen where exactly I want the focus to be, then start adjusting the amount of light that's coming into the lens, which allows me to have a good balanced composition. The last letter is A, which stands for angle. Your angle will determine how the viewer takes in your image. So one thing that I always tell my students is that don't just be stuck with photographing from this level. Change it up a little bit. I tell my students that whenever they're about to take a photo of anything, whatever they want to photograph, to look up, look down, look side to side, and based on what they see, move your camera. That way you can take a photo from down here and kind of tilt your camera up a little bit, and then either bring your phone or camera up here and take a photo from down here and side to side, because we're so used to seeing images taken from straight on that our minds actually don't even take in that image that much. So it's really important that you change up your angles for your viewers to have a different perspective and for also your photos to tell a different story. A lot of times what makes a good photo is actually how it's composed. Let's talk about the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is important because it allows you to have better composition and a more balanced photo. Let's turn the rule of thirds on in your camera. Let's go into your settings. Let's go down to camera. And let's scroll down where it says grid. It says under composition, turn that on. When you have the grid on, you're going to go back to your camera app. And guess what you see? You see the lines, you see the grid. Think of the grid as a cheat sheet. This grid allows you to have better composition. And if you have the grid turned on your phone already, guess what? You are ahead of the game. By the way, if you are using an Android to turn on your grid, you just go into your camera app, click on setting, little gear icon, swipe, you're gonna start seeing rule of third, or it's gonna say grid. Just turn the grid on and you should automatically have it within your setting as well. Let me show you how you can utilize the LLSA formula in any setting. So this is my composition right behind me. So I'm gonna open up my tablet, and now I'm gonna switch the view so you can view it from my tablet here. Here we go. Sweet. My subject is right on the side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to turn my camera or my tablet around here. And I'm gonna make sure that my rule of thirds, which I've already talked about in this class, so you can just check it out. I'm gonna position my rule of thirds so that way I find my horizon, lining up my bottom part with here, with the marble here. This is my subject, so I'm gonna bring down, I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna bring down my exposure a little bit, I'm gonna take the photo. I gotta hold down, so I'm telling the camera, this is where I want to focus. I'm going to take the photo. As I'm looking here, right? As I'm looking at this, I actually want to do a little bit more things. If you look at the ground, there's symmetry around us. So this line here just goes all the way through, and boom. Like even right here is a good composition. It's great. So what I can do is I'm just gonna position camera right here. I'm gonna get kind of low. I'm gonna line up with the line here, and I'm gonna take the photo. I forgot to focus. I'm gonna take the photo. So what I'm choosing to do is I'm choosing to find symmetry around me. There's always going to be symmetry wherever you are. Being a photographer means that I'm looking for symmetry around me, looking for the best composition, so that way the stories that I want to tell stands out and invites the viewer into the photo. As this composition here I'm looking at, the subject is towards my left side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the grid, utilize my grid. I'm going to make my grid so that way my subject is completely on the left side. And I'm going to just put my camera down. As I place my camera down, I want to make sure that I tell the camera exactly where I want to focus, and based on that focus point, I'm going to start adjusting the lighting so it matches what I'm looking for. Lining up my horizon, I'm going to take the photo. I can even do this. You see how the subject just kind of automatically fits within this composition here? So now I can decide what I want to show more. So based on the foreground, middle ground, and background. So what the heck is that? So my foreground here, I'm gonna line up my horizon with the bottom. I'm gonna make this the top line here as my horizon. So now what I'm seeing is that my foreground is the cement, my middle ground is the subject, the trees, and the background is clearly the clouds and also the Capitol building. So that's how I can discern what I want to be more prominent within my foreground or background or middle ground. So I'm going to turn it. I want more of my. Ooh, I kind of like this shot too. So I want to take this photo now. I want to take it from up. I want to have kind of the ceiling a little bit to show. Here, I'll show the ceiling. Yeah, it's just an awesome composition. Like I love this spot. I'm gonna put my camera down here. Well, I'm gonna show you this trick that I teach all my students, is that if you want to have more of the ceiling or above to show, take your camera and just flip it upside down. Like, check this out. Flip it upside down. I'm gonna change my angle. So based on your angle, you create a mood, a feeling. So right now because I'm choosing to flip my camera upside down here, instead of photographing like this, I'm flipping it upside down, is that I'm getting more of a better perspective, a higher perspective. So my angle, I'm gonna have more of the sky show and less of the ground. And this creates a different feeling. Your angle, if you can take anything away from this class, in this session right now, is that your angle is your best friend. If you want to create more exciting photos that creates curiosity, that compels people to engage more with your photos, change your angle. Let's check this out. Changing my angle. I'm getting very low. Photograph. Here, I want you to see what I'm doing. There it is. And don't be afraid to get down. Ooh, I like the water here. Focusing my subject.